Hey everybody, thanks for watching. I've decided to share some, well, at least this, but I'm hoping to do it as a series where I share playing with embroidery stitches. I've got very rudimentary camera options at the moment, but I'm working on getting better. All right, here goes. Last week, or maybe the week before, I posted a picture on social media about this design. And I talked about how interesting it was that it made this pattern on the back of the embroidery. And I got inquiries as to what stitching is this. So I thought I'd share with you what it is. Here's what I'm working on. On a piece of gingham, I'm doing this straight stitch up and down in a pattern. I'm going to make it a frame all the way around. I have a piece of graph paper I've drawn it out on. I'll show you that in a second. And I think it's such an interesting frame and a way to use straight stitches. And I did a back stitch here. And also I'm going to add cross stitches. So here's, by the way, gingham is so fun to embroider on because you have the little squares that makes your stitches very even. However, notice this. It's the same amount of stitches this way as this way, but this one is slightly longer because of the way the gingham is made. Isn't that interesting? I couldn't get a square out of it by doing the same amount of stitches to get my frame to work. I thought that was fun. All right. On my website, in the library, look for the techniques page, and on that page all the files are free for you to request. They're all how-to files for quilting. And in the hand stitching section, there's this decorative stitches. It's a 6-page flyer that you can request, and it's got a dozen, I think, embroidery stitches, including the blanket stitch, a bundle stitch, a chain stitch, chevron, and it just keeps going. Crossed, blanket, cross stitch, that's what I'm using for this particular project. Feather stitch, oops, harder than it looks. French knot, herringbone, lazy daisy, Spanish knot. These are some of my favorite stitches. A straight stitch, that's the other stitch I'm using. A thorn stitch, and a spider web. But then also at the back of this file, this is a drawing of what all those stitches are, a key. I include different combinations that you can do to make interesting elements, and this is the one that I'm using for this design. It's a cross stitch and a straight stitch up and down, and then I will put cross stitches in those spaces. And here's the graph that I drew out for myself. And if you notice, this is the exact same amount of stitches that is on the gingham that I did, but look how much bigger it is. It's just because the gingham I'm using has smaller squares. And this is, it's not in stone, but this is an idea of what I have for the center of it. I'm going to again do back stitches in all these places, and then it's, for me, reminiscent of a little shadow box, and in those little squares and rectangles I'm going to stitch a charm or a special button, and I'm going to fill them all up like a shadow box. So that's the plan. I'll bring back the actual gingham. Gingham is so fun to play with, and now you know, you have an idea of what you might be able to do with your gingham. Thanks for watching, and look for more videos.